Hello everyone, and welcome to our video series for training on the Train LMS system. This video is going to go over how to add an evaluation to your Train course and then how to clone an evaluation that you created previously. That's by far one of my favorite features of Train, and it makes the evaluation building process a lot easier and quicker. Okay. So as you can see, I'm on the course edit wizard of the Train page. I've already gone through the description, created all of that fun stuff. We've now gotten down to the evaluations, and we are going to add our evaluation. First thing that I suggest you do is come up here, this course title, make sure that you copy it, because when we go to build the evaluation, the template a lot of times will cover that title and you can't move the template, so you can't see your title. All right. After you copy that, click on Manage Evaluations. All right. This brings up a list of every evaluation that was built in Train. We will discuss this when we talk about cloning evaluations, but for right now, we're going to go down to the left-hand side and click on Add New Evaluation. Okay. Evaluation name, I would go ahead and paste in your title. And again, you can edit the title of your evaluation a little bit. The one thing that I would suggest is to keep that course ID in there, because when you go back and search for an evaluation, or if you do want to clone the evaluation, that's going to be the easiest way in which you find it, to clone or edit it. All right. Don't worry about the start date. Don't worry about the end date. Leave those blank. Come down here and make sure that your full screen and your centered are selected. You don't have to worry about introductory text or final page or assigned. You'll click on visibility. Click on this drop down. And make sure Kentucky is selected. And then you'll go to questions, and this is where we're going to add our evaluation questions. So we'll select add questions. It's just going to tell you that your evaluation properties are going to be saved before adding questions. Click OK to that. And it'll bring up your questions page. Sometimes it does take a little bit for it to bring it up. Okay, from here, we do have a list of generated evaluation questions that we require for Train, especially with CEs. We have quite a bit that we do ask to go on our evaluations. Those questions can be found on Train. We have plenty of training matrices and guidelines that we can send you with those questions, or if for some reason you do not have these questions, you can send us an email, call ENOBD, and we can send those to you. My suggestion, and I have this too, is to have your evaluations in a Word document. So all you have to do is copy and paste the questions. It makes it a lot easier than having to type it out. We'll go through the ones that we typically use. We have the Likert scale, the rating, multiple choice, true or false, and short answer and yes or no. Those are kind of the ones that we use a lot. You could use any of these, but I'm going to go through a couple of these just so you learn how to add there. Okay, the first one we'll go through is short answer, because that's our first question format for the CE evaluations. So you'll select short answer, click next. Okay. Right here, you could either copy and paste your text question, or you could just write it out, whichever you want to do. I am going to copy it. Over here, when you go to paste, I do suggest right-clicking and make sure you hit paste as plain text so it doesn't bring over any of the formatting from Word. Okay. Go down here, your length, we suggest doing 4,000. I have no idea where we came up with that number, but that's what we use. It gives the participant plenty of length for them if they do have a long paragraph that they want to talk about. They have plenty of space to do it. Hit save once you have filled that out, and it'll enter your question. And then you can add more. Let's do a multiple choice. Okay, I'm going to go back to my document, copy here, or not. There we go. Okay. And paste. Okay. And then up here on choice items, you're going to add your multiple choice selections. I suggest doing 3. You can do however many you want. Fill these in. And once you do fill in your item text, make sure you do hit save. Okay, and you don't have to worry about the alignment or anything like that. You don't have to pick a file. Just go to the bottom. Okay, once you have all your choice items in, go ahead and click save. It's going to ask you to activate the question. Click yes. Okay, and then we'll add another one. Let's do a yes or no. Yes or no is probably my favorite. It's the easiest. Okay, you don't have to select anything. You just type in your question and then go down here and select save. Okay, and then we'll do a Likert scale. This is the one that you'll use the most. Okay, on your rating settings, for any of our Likert scale questions, we suggest doing a 0 for your lowest point value and an NA for your lowest point text. And that's just if for some reason the participant, if you do have multiple presenters and they were not there for this presenter, or that presenter for some reason didn't speak, it allows them to give an option of no answer. We had a course provider bring that to our attention that when we were doing one and poor, you didn't really have an option to give if you did not actually see the presenter speak, or if the objective, it didn't have any value to it. Okay, so make sure 0, NA, 5, and excellent are all entered. Once you do that, click save. Okay, and you'll just keep going through that until you have all of your questions that we ask of you and any that you want to add. Once you have added all of your questions that you need, you'll go to right down here and click save. Okay, again, it's going to ask you if you want to activate your evaluation. Click yes and save. Alright, now this is where it gets a little tricky because it will not actually pull up immediately. You kind of have to search for it. So you can do that one or two ways. If you remember that course ID number, you can type that in here and find it that way. Or for me, the easiest way that I do it is once I create it, I go to this created date and click on it once. When you click on it once, it's going to pull the oldest evaluation that was created. If you click on it one more time, it'll pull the most recent. And that's the one that we did just create. You see right here. And then from here, you're going to go over to your Assign button. Select Assign. It's going to ask you which credit type you want to assign this evaluation to. If you do have a contact hours, it'll give you both options. If you do not have contact hours selected, it'll just have a none. Check all, because the same evaluation goes to both of these. Make sure initial is selected, and then select mandatory and auto verify. Mandatory is that for every participant that registered for your course, they have to take the evaluation. It's mandated. And then auto verify is once they take this evaluation, they're going to be marked verified, and the learner has to be in a verified status in order to receive their certificate. So by selecting auto verify, you're going to state that the learner has to take this evaluation before they can receive their certificate. Okay, come over here to availability and select Kentucky. Don't worry about this right here. You can leave that blank. Once you have all of this selected, you've got all your credits selected, initial, mandatory, auto verify, and Kentucky. Select save. And that'll generate your evaluations. If for some reason you forgot something or anything, you can go to this middle icon that says Edit Evaluation. And it'll pull up your edit page. You can edit your questions, anything like that. And that's how you add one from scratch. Now we're going to go back and we're going to add a clone, or we're going to clone an evaluation and add it. All right, so let me get that number. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. Okay, so if you come down here, you've already built an evaluation that you just want to, it's the exact same format that you want to use for this course. You're going to, again, copy this title, okay, and go to Manage Evaluations. Okay, now instead of adding a new evaluation, you're going to go up here and you're going to type in that course ID of the original evaluation that you are wanting to clone from. So make sure that you do have that on hand. That's why that course ID is so important in that title. As you can see, I've made a lot of these today. Okay, so you'll select whichever one you want to copy. And there's 3 icons. You can edit the evaluation, you can delete the evaluation, or this middle one, you can clone it. So we'll select clone. Okay, and then from here, you're going to change the evaluation title to reflect the course that you're putting on now. So let's say we'll do 2. Once you edit this title, make sure you put that new course ID in there. We're still on the same course, so I'm not going to change it. But for you all, when you're building that new course, make sure you have that most recent course ID so you can find it in future occurrences. Once you do that, select Save. And you'll want to make sure that you save it before you assign any of the questions or before you edit anything else. And this is because you have to edit the title and save and activate this evaluation before making any changes, or else it's going to make changes to that original evaluation that you cloned from. You don't want to do that. Okay, it's going to ask you to activate it. Click Next. Alrighty, and as you can see, it'll pull it right up here. And if for some reason you completely changed the title, it might not pull it up if you are searching with a different course ID number. If that's the case, just remember that course ID that you put in and you can type it up here to search for it. Okay, so we'll go here and assign it. Again, you're going to check all, make sure initial mandatory auto verify is checked. Hit Kentucky and then click Save. Okay, and then now, once you've put it up here, you go to this middle icon. Alright, and you can edit any of the questions that you need to. So if you want to add, like, if there's 2 presenters, you can copy this question, add, let's see, it's a rating. Okay. Alrighty, and then if you want this question to be right after this one, you can actually go over here to this move, click the little arrow, and you can keep putting it up, you can go back down, and that'll put them in the order that you would like. If for some reason you want to delete another question, you don't want that one on there, you just click that exit button. It's going to ask you if you want to delete it, click OK. So once you have all your new questions in there, you have all the information updated, click Save. Okay, and that's how you add a clone evaluation. Again, I suggest, in the way in which we do at EWD, we have a few templates that we build out from scratch, and then we clone from those for each, especially for our public health nursing updates. We have a template, we'll clone from that. It is a lot easier to spend the time at the beginning, and then that way throughout the year you don't have to create a new evaluation every single time you have a training. Very easy to do. And if you keep watching this series, the next one will be going over how to build an assessment and clone an assessment. Thanks for watching.